So normally at this time I would say, it's frickin' cold in here, Mr. Bigglesworth. But what's funny is by complete random, I happened to be directed to a clip that showed that part.
Really?
Well, most of it. It showed Mr. Bigglesworth on the inside of the thing. Well, let's do wrist check. Well, honey?
What? I don't know. I was looking in my watch box and I was like, I haven't worn that in a while.
Birth year, birth month for me. Long sweep. It's a beautiful, beautiful watch, and it's got kind of a nicely blued insert on it. Case is really nice. It's a great watch. I'm so glad that you enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I need you to hold this, and then I'm going to go like this. This is my winter break watch. 6139 7060 JDM Speedtimer. I'm making a whole separate video about this, but I'm super jacked about one thing. That sweep is new old stock. I put it on there myself, trimmed it. This is the original minute counter hand, and I painted that. I custom mixed color to match that. It's a little darker, but I think I did a good job. So anyway, that's pretty neat looking, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You did a great job.
Thank you. Can't read it for anything at night, but it makes me want to burst into song. You know, even I am impressed. Miles Gloriosos from Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. As all school children know. You hear them sing it on the street when they're walking home from school. It's a good marching song, too.
Wait, I'm not playing a game.
She's playing a game. We're all playing a game, honey. None of us know the rules.
The game of life. Okay, from the last mail call, Gareth Brennan, The Smiths' How Soon Is Now extended video version. That's the song I'll be playing on repeat when I'm night driving across the states when I tackle my bucket list.
Night driving across the states.
I can't drive at night.
I've driven, I've done a lot of driving in the United States of America. Boy, howdy have I. Well, you can see all kinds of, fun stuff if you get off the big highway.
Or if you end up running into a blizzard in Kansas in the middle of the night and you're forced to go to a motel and then you lose the cat. That's what I always think of with interstate nighttime driving.
Yeah, that was a fun one. And we were packed to the gunnels. Poor Sadie, and she's just sitting back there eating her...
She was like one.
Oh, my God. I don't know. Maybe I don't necessarily want to get into a big story like that. Punchline was, it ended up she was hiding inside the bed.
Yeah, the cat. I couldn't find her. Nobody left the room. Nobody opened the door.
Yeah, and because we got caught in this blizzard, we're trying to drive. We're moving from Rhode Island. We're going to Colorado, and it is just... We are packed into a Volvo 240 DL wagon, which I had not too long ago driven into the ocean. Boy, but it ran great. But we got, we were heading out. When you hit the border, edge of Kansas, and it really gets into the plains, in the winter, you get these blizzards out there. And because it's so flat, it just drifts like crazy. And so it was nighttime, and the storm was definitely there. We could tell because we were listening to our radio. Mm-hmm. And so we had to stop at the last stop there was with this little pokey little motel. And we didn't tell them we had 2 cats.
No.
We got both cats out of the completely packed Volvo 240 DL wagon, including this giant camel hump of crap on the roof. And it was cold, and it was so cold. We were so worried about Kitten when we were driving because we were worried it was too cold back there for them. Anyway, got them into this teeny tiny itty bitty, the second worst rented room we'd ever been in. I was glad to get it. I don't remember what we did for food because there was nothing open out there.
I probably had snacks or something. Yeah, but anyway, so the bed, it looked like it was connected to the floor, it was, I don't know. It
like a big box.
Yeah.
Like there was no, you couldn't look on, you couldn't.
And who would think?
She's out. She was like, where's the cat? It's her number one fear. I cannot tell you the strongest emotions she ever showed from the beginning of our relationship were in regards to her cat. One time my parents were building this stupid big-ass house on Cape Cod. They were modifying an old beach shack, but it turned into this monster. It was way too big, but it was still under construction. And so we go there to visit, and naturally we bring the cat. We bring Kitten along with us, being a cat, and she vanishes. She's just gone. I can't find her anywhere. It's like she's panicking to the point like I'm going to have to go to the Kinko's and start typing up a flyer to start putting around. And I'm debating how much full color copies are going to be because they're a lot more expensive. And I was just getting ready to do that. Who found Kitten?
She just appeared.
Oh, that's right. She just moseyed in and she had insulation all over her. She was climbing around inside the walls because the house was under construction and she was able to like goof around up there. She was inconsolable. And my mother, who doesn't believe that anybody ever deserves to be unhappy about anything, was absolutely mystified.
I think everybody was mystified.
After Kitten died, which is very sad, I found a really great picture of Kitten and Sabrina together, and I had to put it in a closet for like 3 years because she couldn't stand to look at it.
No, it was like last year.
Was it?
Yes, so it was like 6 years. Oh,
Poor Kitten, I'm sorry.
But see, the picture, if it was just like a picture of the cat, then that was cool, but he got it so big, it looked like I could just grab the cat out of the picture.
I know. It was a really good picture.
Well, it's on the wall now.
I know.
Sorry, I'm laughing too much.
It's okay. I think I'm going to stop here just in case I want to cut that out and put it at the end.
Okay.
Stories.
Oh, my phone is being weird. Hang on. Oop. Oh, what did I do? I accidentally bonked something. Oh.
Did you get it back?
I think I did. Okay. Ivan Mieja 6843. Hi, Spencer. Question for our next mail call. Would it be okay to use generic gaskets for crown and case back? Some Seiko OEM gaskets are pricey and hard to find, while a bag full of generic gaskets on eBay costs just a few bucks. Hope the watch does not become a Franken watch if generic ones are used. Maybe I'm overthinking and should think of them like spring bars, which is fine to use generic ones. Thank you and happy holidays to you and Sabrina.
Yeah, original Seiko gaskets are really expensive. It's one of the reasons why, we produce our own line of the crown and the button gaskets for the 6139s. Those are pretty specifically profiled, and so that's really hard to do a generic on. You can, but they're supposed to be like a D profile, like flat on the inside. The rest of them, except for a 6105 crown, I mean, to a degree, rubber is rubber. And sure, I mean, if it's rubber and it's the right size and it's the right dimensions and all that stuff, I mean, honestly, people buy great values for a reason. Mm-hmm. So, and yes, they're completely replaceable. They're a service item. There's no benefit whatsoever in having original seals. Zero, none. They're a liability to the watch.
Really?
Absolutely.
All right, because they're old. But I mean, generic things usually fail, like in certain situations.
I could see a materials failure, but I mean, companies that produce this stuff, like if you go to the O-ring store, for example, I had to look them up because they're like this industrial thing, and I talked to them at a certain point when we were going to get our things reproduced, but they work on like massive industrial scales for like gas separators and all this other stuff for refinement. And they make orders of gaskets in the tens of thousands for a single one. I'm sure you can find what you need, but it'd be easier probably to buy one of the sets on eBay. I can't believe I'm saying that, considering that we sell them. And we don't sell those though.
No.
We don't sell those.
Cole's Crusty Cars.
Oh, hey, what's up with that 68? Is the picture in there? You have a picture. Your sort of profile picture looks to me like a 68 Camaro in somebody's crappy lean-to barn that has fallen over. Is that just a picture you like, or did you get that car? Is that your car? If that is your car, you might want to get it undercover. It's a 68 Camaro, and it's just got wood piled on it.
Hi, Spencer and Sabrina. I have a question related to a watch's authenticity. It's a Seiko V333-6060 quartz mid-size diver. I originally thought it may be a Franken watch due to the funky hands and full lume dial. If you Google my reference number, the only full lume dial that comes up is my actual watch. Anyways, I was under the impression all Seiko 5s were automatics, but I found several others branded Seiko 5s with my same reference number or similar, but none with the same dial. They either have black or silver. I even found one YouTube video of a guy showing off a black dial version with the same V333-6060 as mine. Supposedly, it's a Brazilian-only deal, etc. It appears to be a rebadged Alba V348, same exact case, hands, etc. So I posted this watch on a couple of Facebook groups. Half people think it's fake Frankenwatch, and the other half say it's real and possibly Brazilian only. I know I have never ever seen another, but if it is indeed a Franken, I'd like to know so I could put an end to it. What do you think?
Oh, I think the first thing is you should send me pictures, which I'm happy to look at. I can't guess. Though I looked at pictures, I looked at both references actually, 6060 and 6070, because there seems to be some overlap. I don't see what you mean by full lume dial, because I didn't see any pictures of any of those that didn't have lume on them. So if you could clarify what you mean by full lume, that'd be great. Seiko 5 is supposed to be one of the 5s is automatic, so that's not really a quartz thing. Best thing to do would be to get me good shots, and I'll have a stab at it.
Francis Palmer 9737. Hi guys, as for wearing two watches, I regularly wear two watches around the house.
I'm only wearing one.
Oh my goodness, not realizing that I am. It's usually because I just like doing it rather than them just stuck in my box. At the moment, I'm wearing a 1969 Citizen Cosmotron that I got going again after a lot of fiddling, and a Seiko Quartz Type 2 1976 new old stocks 4623-5000 TV style with the dark blue dial and white hands with a brushed case and brushed original bracelet. The train of wheels had frozen up, but it's like brand new and running very well now. It even had the Seiko green and gold edged sale tag on it, 28,000 yen. Loving your Friday chats, even though I get to watch them on a Saturday here in the UK. Thank you.
Those, I tell you, those Type 2s, they're really, really underrated. Those sort of mid-early mechanical, not mechanical quartz, but those early all quartz movements, they were beautifully made and beautifully designed. Even at that point, they'd come down a couple generations in terms of the insane quality that they had when they were first out, when they had things like hand soldered, boards and stuff like that. Really amazing, great value for the money. One of the only Seiko models, if not the only Seiko model number, that had a triple language date. Or, well, day anyway. The date's going to be in the same language pretty much everywhere. You could claim it was triple. I mean, why not? Doesn't matter if it's all the same. Those are really cool. Can I see the question again real quick?
Oh, you have to scroll up.
69 Citizen Cosmotron. I'll have to look up to it. I forgot to wear two watches today. Normally I would, just because I have one sitting, but I'm busy wearing this new baby.
Needs all the attention. Nicholas Miller 7565. Hi Spencer and Sabrina, spot on as usual regarding Seiko's attempted move up market. It's sad that all they are actually doing is becoming unattainable price-wise without any effort to improve on QC. Loving the quote-unquote stories. Please keep them coming, maybe as a regular segment.
Well, they come as they come.
Yeah, they just kind of happen. I don't think we ever actually finished telling the story about in Kansas.
Oh, well, no, you know what? I don't think we did.
You immediately went to my cat getting lost in the.
Okay, well, here, I'm going to stop here and then we'll start that and I'll move that to the end.
Well, you're probably right.
I am.
Dr. Tixon, referring to the oral surgeon as an old dude is just too funny.
I just saw the guy like 2 days ago. Sadie got her wisdom teeth out. He wasn't wearing a watch, so I didn't even think about it. I'm sorry, go on.
Well, no. I'm a dentist, been practicing for 32 years in Los Gatos, California, and still wear my December 1975 Pogue since I received it from my parents for my 8th grade graduation gift.
Wait, your parents gave you a Pogue in 8th grade, and you still got it.
You could taste. My watch was recently serviced by Dan Blair since Spencer is backed up on his work. I would have loved it if Spencer came by my office and dropped off his business card.
Well, I can mail you one. I really do wonder, by the way, I have a lot of early business cards. I had a whole bunch of my business card iterations, and some of the early ones, I don't have one anymore, which kind of is a bummer, because some of them I was very proud of.
Well, didn't you save them?
I looked in the business card thingy, and the files are no longer there.
That's weird.
Maybe I had a different account or something, but in any case, if you have any of my really early cards, it'd be interesting to hear about that. Mm-hmm. Oh, but I never finished the thing. Sadie got her wisdoms out, and now she looks like a chipmunk.
Yeah, she's at maybe or not quite peak puffiness.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Mm-hmm. Yep, she is. So if ever I need tooth work done, and I happen to be in Los Gatos again, I will I'll stop by.
Okay, do I have a feather in my hair? Yes, I do.
Better than popcorn foam all over cracking.
Did I get it?
I don't know. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Oh, yes, the frickin'. So you left all of the foam on the bed, and I walk in and Finny's on it.
No, I saw that. I was going in there. Kraken, she gets out and she likes to roll around in, like, the dust and stuff. She loves doing that. We had the house redone. Finally, we've been doing all this work for years with money to sort of get this to the point that this worked. We had stucco, modern stucco system, which is highly recommended these days. It had problems back in the 80s and 90s. This is not now. Anyway, but part of it, they're dealing with these huge sheets of like insulation foam. So we've got all these little white popcorn things everywhere, which are really staticky. And they also tend to blow around and then gather in hollows in the dirt. So when Kraken rolls in them, she looks like she has sprinkles on her.
Yes.
And then she got them all over the bed.
And then the other cat laid on it.
It's true, after I got them off the one cat.
Yes. For AH Seiko 62157 300 meter restoration. Brian Haynes 8761. Why do the bezel numbers go anti-clockwise?
Okay, so this is a first generation 300 meter diver, and it had what was called a countdown bezel. So instead of going, from 12, from your perspective, 12, 0, 10, 20, whatever the heck it is, this goes 0, 50, whatever, 40, 30. The idea, I don't know, is just a different way to look at it. It says, you don't have all the time in the world, it's you are running out of time. And interestingly, that behavior was codified with the ISO dive requirements in when they went over to needing to have unidirectional bezels, which basically did the same thing. You're running out of time. Got to get to the surface, but I think you could have them both ways.
That would be terrifying.
I don't mind them actually. It's nice to look down and see something different.
Okay. Keeping the Seiko 6139 and 6138 chronograph running. From Isaac BK4 does the chrono hand reset in one direction or always the shortest distance? Can I reset from 55?
When you go past 30, the cam is a heart shape. Like people do. It's a heart shape. So if you hit it on this lobe, it's going to swing back this way. If you hit it on this lobe, it's going to swing back that way. Setting at 55, you can reset at any point on it. because I know kind of how the date finger and the intermediary wheel interact, when you have that, the date finger is gonna push that minute counter over, because it comes around like so, and it nestles into this gap right here. This is the finger on the chronograph wheel on the clutch. So it goes past, boop, and knocks in the next position. So that's a little open. So when I go backwards, I don't know. I just prefer doing it that way, but I'm sure you're fine. If you're up at the top of the register, that's really what's important.
New Seiko Marine Master Prospects 1965 Diver's Watch. Arson 6169. Honestly, I thought he was yelling at you in Spanish when I saw mass.
It's something he must not have. He must thought I was mispronouncing mass in 62 MAS. Mass. He says not MES. So I don't know.
Mass. I was like, more.
Mass. Los.
Obviously, you're not a Seiko guy. This watch is not for you.
Would you? Obviously, I'm not a Seiko guy.
That's funny.
But you're right. The watch really isn't for me. It doesn't have. I don't know. It's. What it really is the dial. The dial embossing to give it this kind of randomized looking. They don't randomize it at all. So it's like they're trying to mimic something natural, but they're doing it very, very badly. For me, it feels like fake wood on plastic. Fake wood.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm thinking about how you pronounce it. How'd you pronounce it?
62 MAS is what I say.
M-A.
MAS. 62
Well, why did he hear M-E-S?
I have no idea. I don't say, well, I guess I can say 62 MAS. 62 MAS. I don't say that. I say 62 MAS.
Well, yeah, if I say 62 Moss, I'm thinking more. 62 more.
Why not? Why not?
Okay. For CJ Seiko 6139 6005. At Brumkid, I have a 6139 6002 serial number 398016, and the only thing I have wrong with it is the date does not move on its own, but I can press the button to move it. The date changes okay and it keeps good time. How much would it cost to get it fully working?
Okay, well, the problem you've got there, from what you're describing, well, it's, okay, so you can move it with the crown. All right, fine, so it turns. Click, click, click. That's cool. So that means that the date finger, it's the C, and the date wheel assembly is driven by the hour wheel and through the intermediate date driving wheel, and that goes to the big date driving wheel, which has above that, there's a stack. It's this C-shaped deal, and it comes around to push that date over. So what can happen is it's open on one end, and it has two locating tabs on the bottom to keep it in the slots on that. But if it really, like if somebody tries to reset it after midnight, it'll push that date finger back, at which point it won't have enough oomph to kick it over.
I just watched Gremlins, and you're not supposed to feed them after midnight, and you said that.
Well, Oh, so anyway, so the test is this. Pull the crown and run the time forward over midnight and see what happens. See if the number starts to try and then goes click backwards, or if it doesn't move at all. But also test to see if the date should flick over twice. So that's what I need to know.
Hang on, I'm gonna yawn. Do you cut out my yawns?
I can if you want me to.
Please.
I was thinking about the word yonder.
Yonder? Mm-hmm. Why?
Over yonder.
I know.
Do people still say it? Is that dying away?
People don't say that.
Over yonder, kitty corner?
Well, that's different.
Do people say kitty corner anymore?
Yes.
Catawampus?
No.
People.
Well, I think it depends on where you are.
Well, okay,
that sounds like a regional thing.
Catawampus?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. The only person I knew that said that regularly was Mom. Maybe it was some New England thingy.
Maybe. Okay.
Who knows? Do you say kitty corner or catawampus or catawampus or catty corner?
I thought catawampus was...
Wonkus. Everything's wumpy.
Yeah, but kitty corner is you have it in the corner.
I'm just thinking about old phrases.
Oh.
Wait, what did you think kitty corner was?
Kitty corner is you have something, like you have your furniture. That, what, am I wrong?
Well, in my thing, when I say kitty corner, if something's kitty corner, that means it's diagonally across the way.
Oh, see, in my world, it's like this is a room, and like I don't know, here's a bed. And
Wait, you have to show them.
Oh, okay. So here's a room, here's a bed, and you have your dresser kitty corner.
Well, yeah, that is a way. It's an angled thing. I always thought of it though as like, it's kitty corner. You have to go down to the next street and then take a right, and then it's kitty corner across the way.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I only ever thought of it in terms of directions, but what do I know?
you know a lot.
I know a lot about very, very, very narrow segment of items, and even then, we're lucky if I'm right.
Which JDM Speedtimer looking for a watch to restore this winter break? True Blue Miata, festive greetings to you both. Those are some lesser seen 6139s. The blue is great, but not that unusual for Seiko. I do like the gold and also the first one, the green on blue. That's what's cool about Seiko in this era, something for everyone.
It's true. It is. I mean, there's so much back there, and except for some of the chronographs are, they're worth a lot of money, and any of the chronographs could be worth more money, but there's so much material that Seiko made in the 70s and the 80s, and it was their golden age. Even their less expensive movements and pieces were great quality. A 7123, it's only 2 joules, and people go, it's only 2 joules. 100% metal construction with 2 joules, but they're incredibly accurate. And they made an upgun version called the 7146 that had temperature compensation. They can be dialed into just crazy tolerances. So they're not cheap at all. And Seiko has a ton of stuff through the 70s. I mean, talking about the Type 2s. There's all kinds of stuff back there. I think the only 70s models that are just beyond what people can deal with, a lot of the JDM 7019s are kind of funky, but the 7006s, there's almost none of them that are really attractive to me at all. And like nobody I know really does anything with 7006s. There's a couple models, but for the most part, they're just kind of weird looking.
Okay.
But hey, that's me. Maybe other people will love them.
Maybe. This is where the car picture is. It's like Inception of your face.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, it's not quite as bad as I thought from the little thing. It looked to me like the thing had like half collapsed, and well, I mean, it kind of has, but man, I hope you saved that car. Okay, well, let's rock on.
Okay, well, that was Cole's Crusty Cars. I just bought a pretty beat 7002 7000. The bezel insert is really in terrible shape and I want to replace it, maybe even the entire bezel. How do I know what insert it is supposed to have?
This is a question that gets asked a lot. The only differences between a 7002 insert and like a 6309 insert or a 7548 insert is the color of the loom in the pip is going to be kind of a green, and the finish top of the insert, it's more high polish. The earlier ones, they have this like pebbly finish to them, which is pretty distinct when you see, and it's an anti-glare thing, I think. But with the 7002s, they have that metallic, it's a finer gray metallic on the numbering, and the black surface and the numbering, they're much smoother and more reflective. Nobody makes a good reproduction that I'm aware of. And finding a good insert for a 7002 usually means having to find one on the watch. If I've ever seen an NOS 7002 rotating ring complete, I have no memory of it. Because the watches themselves were neglected and overlooked for so long. Seiko might not have made many of them because, of course, 7002 turned into 7002 7039 transitional, which used basically the same case dimensions as what would become like the 007. And those, they have the same size crystals and everything, and those are tough to find. I don't think Seiko made many spares for them because they were all in on the 007s. But I'm just guessing.
I know what I want for my birthday. I was like, I'm sitting here and not listening. I'm sorry. And I'm thinking
wait, is
about-
this Gwent?
Yes, it's Gwent. Somebody made an entire set and board.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow, I remember there was a guy on Reddit like 8 years ago or however long it was who started collecting artwork and doing that. Is this licensed? He's not going to get like sued or anything, is he?
I don't know. There's a bunch of different ones, but I was just sitting here like, I want to play Gwent, but I don't really feel like playing Witcher. And I know that there's a standalone game thing, but I like how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, I understand. I know there's a standalone game, but it has all of its own crazy rules.
Right.
I got really good at Gwent in the game when I played to the point that it was really impossible to beat me, at which point it just really wasn't fun. Well, actually, right at the point that I got really perfectly good, you ran out of Gwent challenges.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to this person.
What was the name of that house where it was like they would have this, like, oh, it was the monsters deck, where they could put down this thing and it would like double or triple all the number of monsters they had or something? It was awful.
Can I read? The one in it, his 7000, has a large loom pip and a slight dome. Is that aftermarket?
The way you can tell is you look at the pip, because the way the pips are built is they're like a thick. What do you call those little things with the round things with the cheese in it? You know, that the kids like, the moo cow cheese.
Oh, the Laughing Cow?
Laughing Cow cheese. They come in like these little wooden, like, paper tin things, right? Okay, so imagine that, a thick disc. So it's a clear, thick disc, absolutely flat on the bottom, and then the next part of that clear disc gets stepped in a little bit. And that sits inside a step in the insert like this, upside down. So you should basically, you see an actually clear depth going down. It should be absolutely flush with the top surface, and then it's loomed on the bottom. That's what it should look like. Domed, the only time I see domed pips is there were some replacement, there was a whole range of 6105, 8000 pips, or they came in actually full bezels, where it was like fisheye, and it wasn't like that at all. It's like they quick stamped out a circle out of sheet plastic, and it naturally made a dome like this, and they shoved that in there and then loomed behind that. That's the only one I can think of.
I see many different variations when I search for them. Yours here looks just like it, but in your other video from years ago, you were storing a 7000. It has a small loom pip like an SKX. What one is correct? How do I tell aftermarket from OEM? Does anyone make a good aftermarket insert that is acceptable if I can't find an OEM I'm happy with?
You can look up, I don't know that he's still in business, Yoboki's, it's Seiko Boy backwards. He is, he's in the Far East, and he makes great, a lot of the really good reproductions come from him. There are a lot of excellent other reproduction companies that are making decent material. Seeing as you can't get original replacements, I mean, what are you going to do anyway, right? Anyway, Yoboki's, he has a number of different inserts that are the correct dimension, and they look correct, and the pips are pretty good. And he does a variety of different looms on them, an old style C1 or whatever the heck it is. I don't know that he's still in business, but look him up, and that might help.
That's it.
That's it? Did I answer his...
I don't know. I started looking at emails. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I just want to make sure... That's the big thing. Look at those inserts, and his inserts are the only ones that I would even consider using if it was really down to me.
Okay.
Wait, there's no more questions?
No more questions.
Oh, I didn't understand that part.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention it.
No, that's fine. So I guess that's it. So if you've made it this far in the video, chances are there's going to be some stories a little bit further on, but this whole thing is full of stories, so, you know.
Life is a giant story.
Yep, life is a giant story. Okay, well, you know what? Here's my suggestion. Let's do the, let's film the wrist check that you all enjoyed, and then I'll start putting the video together.
Okay.
Does that work?
That works great.
Okay, folks. See you. Bye-bye. Anyway, so Sabrina, her number one concern in life is her cat. And so we wake up in the morning, we've been doing all this work to make sure they were safe and not too cold or whatever. We get up in the morning and there's Milo, fatting around the place, because that was though he wasn't very fat then, he was still pretty skinny.
No, but he was fat at heart.
He was fat at heart and getting fatter, and he was a massive, he was a good guy. But anyway, Kitten is missing. She's not in the room. It's a blizzard outside.
Well, because it's like insanity. I'm like, am I in the freaking Twilight Zone? Like, there's no way the cat couldn't be in this room.
Right, there's no back door. Like, when we got in there, we didn't open the door again beyond me going back and forth. And after I was done with that, we knew where the cat was exactly. She was gone. And it was getting to the point that she was quite legitimately frantic, and there I was thinking about flyers again. Like, how am I going to go and ask people, by the way, keep an eye out for my cat. She's blacking in a blizzard, that might help. But, and then I'm like, because there's literally no place else for her to be. So I go and I pick up one of the bed mattresses off this like box thing that goes down to the bottom. Moo! That's the noise she made. She, there she was looking at us, all innocent.
Poor cat.
Oh, well, we got her here, and then she got to learn about the gloriousness of Colorado.
Yep.
It's true. Anyway, that's the end of that story, so now I'm going to stop it, and we're going to go back to questions. But it is interesting, because I was looking for that clip from Austin Powers about Big Boy, and I realized that those two actors, I know I've said this before, were both Trek alumni. They were both in TOS.
I don't remember.
Both bit parts. You remember the one where they come across like the incredibly huge planet-sized like Death Star, but with glowing balls on the outside of it?
I can't remember
with this like
anything.
weird alien head, and they actually get over there because the thing is going to destroy them, and it's just this, I don't know, supposedly an adult alien, but it was a kid. And the general in that scene was in the hippie episode. So there you are.
Okay.
I don't know if they did that deliberately or if that just kind of happened.
I don't know.
They were both bit parts. In fact, I'm not even sure that the fellow who played the general, no, he had a few lines that was really cringy, like fake cool talk from whoever the writers were at that point, like, we know the hip lingo. Meanwhile, they gave this guy this like alien hippie cut, and even then he looked like somebody who really thought about lawn care.
I skipped that episode. I think I've seen it once.
I've seen it a few times.
I skip it.
I just thought the lead baddie, that sort of idealistic cult leader, I was like, what a jackass, and his ears look stupid.